Hi, everyone. This is Dr. K, and I just wanted to speak to you a moment about the theoretical framework of the class, where we're going with this, and a little bit about exigence so that you understand what to do with your discussion post for this week. So, the theoretical framework of this course is based on Gerald Graff's Beyond the Culture Wars, How Teaching the Conflicts Can Revitalize American Education. Now, why did Eugenia and I, who built this course, why did we decide to focus on a book from 1996? It's a pretty old book, right? To have a theoretical framework for this class. One of the reasons we did is because we cannot trust what we see anymore. The media is very untrustworthy. According to the latest Gallup poll, which was October 2023, just a couple months ago, only 32% of the American public trust the media. And in an article from today in The Economist, they've reported that most people cannot tell the difference between video that is faked and video that is real, or pictures that are faked and pictures that are real. And it's going to become harder and harder to do that. And there's really no way to detect it. So the ethos, the trust that the American public has in what they see is going to have to shift like it did in the early, like before the camera was made in the early 1860s. We started to see photography, and they said the camera didn't lie. So people started trusting what they saw in the news media because they believed what the camera showed them and what video showed them. Now, there were a lot of ways to manipulate camera pictures and video, but they weren't very good. Now we have an entirely new media that is making it impossible to tell the difference between what's real and fake. So people don't trust AI, they don't trust the media, and this is going to cause a really big problem because everyone is only going to trust the people that they agree with, which is really a problem. Is that we can't silo ourselves. We really have to open ourselves and become flexible thinkers again. We have to look at how all these conflicts are created and who the different parts of the conflict are, what their voices are, who they are, and why they are in conflict. We have to understand the basis of the things that are framing our understanding of the world around us. And so our ethos is shifting according to the Economist article from today. The ethos is shifting from the thing that they're reporting on, which was, of course, cameras and video, to who is posting that thing. And nobody trusts the media, so nobody's going to trust anything. So where does that leave us? We have to look at all of the information and start to really become flexible and critical thinkers if we're going to survive this as a culture, as the United States. So when we're teaching the conflicts, what we're doing is we're trying to get you to understand, where did this conflict come from? Who are the voices? What is the history of the conflict? Okay. Now, what does that have to do with what we're doing this week? Well, first of all, we're looking at exigence. And exigence means, why did something get written? So, or why did something get reported? Or why did someone report on something or post something? And that's exigence. That's rhetorical exigence. Okay. So I gave you the example of the mask up. So you look at that and you're looking at that video and you're wondering, what is the exigence? The exigence, of course, is the COVID-19 epidemic that happened in 2020. We also have to look at who is the audience. If you look at the video, you can tell that the audience is obviously not elderly people who live in nursing homes. The audience is young people. If you look at the quiz show, you can see that the exigence is the question the man asks while he's doing the quiz show. Okay, so you might want to look at this in the unit if you don't know what I'm talking about. And the audience, of course, is people who want to be entertained by this quiz show, mostly the British public, I believe. And it's really interesting to see how the guy figures things out, how he talks it through. So that's it's really entertainment is the purpose of that. So we start to look at the exigence, who is the audience, what is the purpose of everything that we see. And that's one way to start to build ethos in what we know. We build we build trust in what we know. Ethos is trust. Okay. So as we're moving along, I want you to think about, okay, so what are some of the passions that you have? Okay, you posted about your passions in the first post. I want you to think about those. Where are the conflicts in those passions? So let's say your passion is swimming. You don't want to choose like the really big conflicts because those are really kind of covered already. But try to look at some smaller conflicts that you could handle an investigative report. Okay, so for example, the issue of shark skin being by swimmers is a really big issue. Like it can give you the eighth of a second or whatever that will allow you to win. So should they allow this kind of swimwear? Let's say you're looking at chess, okay? What are the new ways to play chess that we never thought of? How is AI impacting that? Of course, this whole thing, investigative report, doesn't have to do with AI, but if you pull AI into it, it's okay. So AI is giving some new moves to chess masters, and AI is also giving new moves to Go masters. And we never thought that Go or chess had a lot of growth, but it really does. And there's a lot of conflict about whether or not people should be employing some of the ways that they're playing. Okay, look at physics. Okay, so what are some of the new things in physics? Well, people are questioning, for example, Einstein's theory of relativity. Why are they questioning it? What are the conflicts? Why do those conflicts exist? What is the history of the conflict? Who are the main voices of that conflict? I want you to totally understand everything around that conflict, and it could be anything. It's let's talk about soccer. How is it best for someone to work out? What are the best coaching techniques? Who's arguing about them and why? So these are all issues that you can bring up from your own passion. So I want you to start to look for conflicts in your passions, and we're going to teach you ways to find those conflicts. As far as the discussion this time, you're going to be looking at, first of all, how to write a summary. You should have done this in English 1101, but there is a point by point instruction about how to write a summary in the reading for this week. If you take that point by point instruction about writing summary and you just copy and paste it into your discussion and then make sure you answer those things, make sure that's in the discussion for your summary paragraph, you're going to do a lot better than just erase the point by point. And then you can do that also with exigence, and you can do that also with other parts of that discussion. So that should help you out a lot. So go look for that information, copy it off, stick it into the discussion, then use it as a way for you to get that discussion done. Now, if it isn't a whole 150 words for each of those paragraphs, I'm not going to freak out, but try to get it as close as you can. What we're asking you to do is that you really develop that thought, that you don't just kind of, randomly throw it off. And don't forget about blog post technique in this class. It is a multimodal class. We want you to have that picture. We want you to have those words. And we want you to have a great title. You want to make sure that people are drawn to your post, that they understand what you're saying and what you're posting. So these are all important aspects of communication, and we are writing to communicate in this class. We're not just writing because I told you to write. By the way, also that's exigence. If I give you an assignment, that's exigence. I gave you an assignment, I asked you to write something, you wrote it. My assignment is your exigence. So just understanding exigence might help you out a little bit. All right. I hope that's helpful. Take care, everyone. And don't be afraid to text me with any questions you have. I'll also WhatsApp. Bye.